Good morning, you fantastic and beautiful human beings. So, guys, today we're going to talk about something that someone put in the comments on one of my previous videos. They put, something like, guys, I'm stuttering. I can't remember the exact words, but they put basically, I can't believe all the things that are happening now. It's like how look how they're showing their true cards or something. Now, I did a video on this on our other platform. I've pinned it to the top, so if you want to go and look at that, go and check that out. But basically, I said this would happen like at the beginning of this month. I said, look, people are going to start to show their true colors. People are going to start to reveal their hands. And look what you've got at the moment. If you take a step back from everything that's happening and just try and look at what's happening in the United Kingdom holistically. So don't worry about personalities. Don't worry about policies, procedures. They've done that because of this. They've done that because of this. Look at what's actually happening with no opinion. What you'll see happening is a total dismantling of the middle class, a total dismantling of any independence that people have. Now, most recently, there's been these new taxes. So a tax, there's supposed to be an 8% tax increase on, hang on, let me just read you this quickly. Rachel Reeves is due to slap landlords with an 8% national insurance tax. Won't that just force landlords to increase their rents? That's from Martin Dubry on X. Then you've got, the already broken private rental market. So we've got a housing crisis, and the government solution is to make it worse by taxing people more. I don't know what the theory behind this is. It's probably something like this modern monetary theory where you just print more money and tax people more. Because, guys, that's never worked for anyone. And when a civilization does that, when a country starts to do that, it will just collapse. You can look at you can go right back to the fall of the Roman Empire. That is pretty much what the Romans did. And, every time somebody's tried modern monetary theory, their civilization, their way of life, their empire, it just collapses. So that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. And, people are saying we've got 5 more years of this or 4 more years. Guys, if I'm being brutally honest with you, I don't think we're going to have, I think we're not even going to get to the next election, or we won't have another election. I just, the way things are going at the moment, it seems like every day there's another act of contempt from the Labour Party. Literally, from Keir Starmer having draconian 2-tier systems imposed on everybody who speaks up against him, to his deputies, increasing taxes while old people are going to be freezing in their constituencies. They're going away to Ibiza and giving it big box, little box. And guys, everybody's entitled to a holiday. You really are. If you're a 40-odd-year-old woman and you want to go to Ibiza and do big box, little box, fine. Go fill your boots. I'm under the old-fashioned opinion that if you're an elected official, you have to act with a certain amount of decorum. You have to act in a certain way. And that's fine. We're part of this neoliberal movement now where, we can't even agree what a woman is. And, men can be women and women can be men and men can have babies. So, you know what, guys, it doesn't matter anymore, does it? But that's the direction we're going. And some people are saying, we're going to own nothing and be happy. That does seem the way, doesn't it, that we're being pushed. It seems like we're being pushed towards owning property now. If you one of the, remember when I did the Wrath of the Awakened Saxon video? I'll link it at the end, actually. I did the Wrath of the Awakened Saxon video, and I identified the group of I guess children. I said this group of children that are now probably at comprehensive school and below, that group of children are going to be the ones that rebuild our country. Now they're going to be the ones. What hope do they have to get on the property ladder? What hope do they have to to be able to have a family life? live together as a, as traditional, with traditional Western values. It's virtually impossible, especially if you come to, if you go outside that London-centric bubble, and you can put parts of Oxford and different areas in the south in that. If you leave that bubble, what industry is there? What new exciting ventures are there? What revolution is there? There isn't any. There's absolutely nothing. And and it's just grim. And most people from these northern towns, like I did, when you get, I left when I was 16. I can remember my. It's strange, actually. It's a little bit difficult talking to this because my nan and granddad recently passed away. I can remember standing at the train station, on Rotherham train station, and getting the train to Lichfield to start my basic training, my military basic training when I was 16. Now I look back at that and I think, at the time I thought I knew exactly what I was doing, which I did, but when you have that life experience and you start it at 16, your perception of life for the rest of your life is totally different to what other people see. And people normally at 16 they go to college, then university, blah 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 blah. Okay, that wasn't the path for me, and I know now a lot of people in these northern towns, they just don't have that opportunity. They don't have that. There's not those paths for them in front of them. And what are they going to do if they go to a university? They're going to be in debt for the rest of their life, paying the universities back. And it's just this whole construct now of wanting to destroy people and wanting to have people attached to the state, wanting to have people dependent on the state. Because as soon as that happens, and I've said this so many times, guys, so many times, once you're attached to the state, once you're financially dependent to the state, you are literally their slaves. I mean, for example, you think about your kids at home. Right, guys, just think about this in the micro, and then this obviously fractals up to the macro. So think about your kids at home. If they don't do their chores, if they don't do their homework, what do? You stop them having their pocket money. Simple as that. And guess what? They do their chores. They do their homework. They do what you say. That's how you financially control people. And if we start being financially dependent on the state, and then by financially, I don't just mean financially, I mean dependent for housing as well, because it really seems like there's this big drive on destroying anybody with means. So let me go to my original point and I'll come back. So, that's how you financially control people. You stop them having money and you stop them having housing. Whatever you say goes. You don't jump through these hoops or you get nothing. And that's what's going to happen. And then don't forget, guys, we're going to have the Karen factor. The Karen factor. Nobody talks about the Karen factor, only me. You go to these, men have the Karen factor as well. I was speaking to one the other day from the bank. Guys, bankers, and I don't mean the people on the tills in the banks, I mean bankers. They are horrible people. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so the Karen factor, you'll go to these places, and if they don't like you, they won't serve you. And that's that helplessness, that feeling of helplessness, that's going to drive this radicalization of the perceived far right. That's going to drive the militarization of the perceived far right. That's going to drive people to do absolutely crazy things, because people will feel hopeless. People will feel, there is no populist movement. Nobody's looking out for them. And let's not forget, guys, it's our grandparents who built this country, and we have failed them. There's no denying it, guys. We have failed our grandparents. So back to my other point with the the Karen factor and how this all puts into this narrative. Remember Jess Phillips yesterday when my video yesterday was called Absolute Contempt, and I talked about Angela Rayner going to Ibiza while she's just had while they've just done tax cuts to the elderly. Right, I'm off to Ibiza, and then Jess Phillips coming out and boasting that she got sent to the front of the queue because she had a Palestinian doctor, and her views were that ceasefire should be implemented in Israel and Gaza. That is also the Karen factor. Now, if you can say that's in, that is an isolated incident, do we think it's an isolated incident? No, of course not. We all know anecdotally of people giving other people preferential treatment. But now if we're saying that, people are giving people preferential treatment because of their stance on an international incident, where else does this lie? Where else does this happen? There was the policewoman. Let me see if I can find it real quick, guys. There was the policewoman who was demoted for promoting people of ethnic minorities. Hang on. Let me just see if I can get it here, guys. Yeah, there it is. So let me just share this real quick with you guys. So, like I just said, we're seeing that people are not being fair. And is this, a sign of things to come? Police force first ever black female superintendent is demoted over, hang on, let me get rid of that. Is demoted over to help fellow minority cops get promoted. So there's the article, guys. You can see now that, is this a thing that happens? Is this, we can say this is not happening in the United Kingdom. We can say all sorts about it. But, the reality is we don't know, do we? We genuinely don't know. And where's the other one? Hang on, guys. Let me just give you this one as well. Where is it? Yeah. So just going back to the landlord thing, the days of small landlord are well and truly over. The property investors are selling up, kicking out tenants, and even offering renters cash to leave ahead of Keir Starmer's capital gains tax raid. So I don't rent it. I own one property and it's my house I live in, so I don't really understand this at its best. And there's a lot of different opinions out there about, there's a lot of different articles about these taxes that are coming. But basically, this is like a punch to rent private renters. It's a punch to people who are, for example, your nan and granddad die, your mum and dad die. You think, right, okay, they lived in that house all their life. That, that's my house now. I've been inherited that. Me and my brother and my sister, we're going to rent that out and we're just going to see what happens. Okay. They're the people who this is coming to. Because these big organizations, these big corporations, they can deal with this. They've got the solicitors, they've got legal teams, they've got people who are inside, they're lobbyists. Sorry, that's in America. They potentially donate to a certain political party so they can, they can push the agenda, maybe 2% here, 3% here. So it's just this whole battle at the moment between, the people who are climbing the ladder of prosperity and the people at the top of the ladder of prosperity. They're like pouring oil down it and trying to cut the rope and stuff. And that really is what you've got, guys, at the moment. And like what people have said, it doesn't look like there's any end to this, especially when Keir Starmer comes up there, guys, and he says, things are, it's going to be what did he say? It's going to be a painful, it's going to be a painful budget. Well, we've got September, November. Sorry, what we've got? September, October, November. We've got these months ready to come. And when this budget does come, guys, it's going to, like, part of me in the back of my head, I'm thinking, right, is he just saying it's going to be really bad? Because, and then when it's not as bad as he thought, or when he walks things back, he can be Starmer the savior or something, So it might be like a 4D chess move, but we don't know, and we're not going to know until until it's actually released in October. Also, guys, in other news, and I should probably do a video about this on its own, but should I? No, I'll do it now. So remember yesterday, was it yesterday? I can't remember what it was, when I talked about the F-16 crash in Ukraine. And I said, from my sources on the ground, these guys were taking pictures, they were doing, basically that's what I said, the guys were taking pictures. They were trying to get cool, low flies and taking pictures. Now, my friend got back to me. He said, yeah, so I'm hearing now that these F-16s got took down by their own air defense systems. Now, I don't know if, and again, this is speculation, guys. This is what I've heard. This is not official by no by any means of, you know, anything. You know, this is just what I'm being told from my sources who are in Ukraine. So they're being told that, well, not being told, they found out on various channels that they were doing they were doing a photo shoot or something, and then they think that their own surface-to-air missile systems could have taken them out, because I don't know, guys, I'm speculating. Maybe the flight wasn't planned. Maybe they were just going out and doing them, and, you know, nobody had told the air defense systems to go offline or something. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting told now. Now, interestingly enough, this morning, in fact, yesterday, Zelensky comes out and sacks Ukrainian Air Force chief after F-16 crash. And this is all he says, guys, okay? President Volodymyr Zelensky has sacked the commander of Ukraine's Air Force amid debate over the destruction of one of the country's valuable new F-16 fighter jets. Mr. Zelensky did not specify the reason for dismissing Lieutenant General Mykola Oleshuk, but said he had a responsibility to take care of all of our warriors. And then it just goes on the article and tells you about the crash. So why would he be sacking him if everything was done by the book? If everything was done by the book, you know, then this was a genuine crash, a genuine mistake, or a shoot down, he wouldn't have been sacked. So we know that something is going wrong out there. Now, I'm not saying that what I've said is 100% correct. I'm saying that's what I've been told from my sources in Ukraine. It'll come out in the, you know, it might come out in months, it might not, but, you know, the reality is we don't know. And the reality is the reality doesn't really matter. It's the perception of the reality. So I think the Ukrainians will want to keep if it is something really embarrassing, like a friendly fire incident, or they were taking pictures and, you know, he was trying to do no hands or something, you know, then that would be really embarrassing. And, you know, that would be something the Ukrainians would want to keep under, you know, under wraps without anyone understanding, because that would be huge humiliation. It would be huge, you know, condemnation. And all the people who are saying we need to stop giving the Ukrainians our kit and equipment because, you know, it's really expensive, then that would just be more ammunition for them. So under no circumstances, you know, would the Ukrainians want to get this out. Guys, that is it for this morning's video. I think I've covered everything I wanted to this morning. Yeah, more tax raids on the there's also supposed to be an 8% same tax rate on unearned income from unearned income. Fears of a crackdown mounting amid that national insurance to be applied for rental income. Again, I don't even know what that means, guys. They're using language I don't understand. But what I do understand is that this is, you know, this is all coming, and it's gonna, the people who it's gonna hurt the most are, you know, are those middle income people. You know, those people who are, for example, if you're one of the what is it? So I think there's, let me just check this, guys, because I don't want to give right, I can't find it. Right, hang on. Let me look out news. No, I can't find it. Right, I heard it. Right, okay, hang on. Right, I can't find it. I heard a statistic earlier about how many migrants that have come to the United Kingdom are actually unemployed, and it was a huge number. You know, it was a huge number. Now, if we're saying that those people are the safest in the United Kingdom, in the context that if you're unemployed, you're getting your money off the state, and that's the lifestyle you want, and you're happy with that, then you're the safest in society. You've got no worries. The people with the worries and the people with the fears are those people, you know, those people who have got a small business, those people who are, you know, who are trying to employ people, who are trying to make something for themselves. Guys, do you know what? I should have probably started this, you know. What I think this is, guys, and this has just come to me, this is a destruction of ambition. Yeah, guys, this is what we're seeing is a destruction of ambition. If you want to have ambition in the United Kingdom at the moment, you are beat down with a slippery pole. Oh, that's what it seems like it is. But if you're one of the guys, I can't find the statistic. It's out there somewhere. I'll try and link it in the description to this, you know. But if you're one of the people, you know, who's not working, you're on whatever state welfare you're on, you know, if you're one of those people, you don't need to worry at the moment. All you need to worry about is doing as you're told by the government. And that's what they want to do. They want to get more people into that bracket, that they're not worried about providing goods or services that are competitive price and growing their business. They're worried about doing what the government tell them to do so they can live and survive and, you know, and get by how they are. And this is just absolutely insane, guys. We shouldn't be in this situation. Remember, guys, all right, this is not the future our grandparents wanted for us. Guys, I'm going to leave it there, guys, all right? So don't forget to share my stuff, like and comment. I am going to Mag to Grid, guys. I'll speak to you soon.